They are not subject to disclosure requirements. And when I mean disclosure requirements, such as reporting of net asset values, disclosure such as reporting of net asset values, in which you can say in which mutual funds are subject, in which mutual funds are subject. That's probably maybe a major difference between hedge funds and mutual funds. We can also see that for hedge funds, they use derivatives, leverage, and short selling. So we can add over here, form of a bullet, hedge funds use derivatives, derivatives, we can say leverage and short selling. Short selling is selling a security that does not belong to you. That is what hedge funds is also subject to. We can also say that hedge funds, unlike we can say unlike mutual funds. Mutual funds are not allowed to use short selling, derivatives, and leverage there. That's one key thing that you need to note. We are also saying this, that hedge funds offer their products. Funds offer their products to qualified investors, stars like that, unlike mutual funds. I've already explained what qualified investors are. In terms of the amounts that are within their bank accounts, we are saying that qualified investors are a different category. Institutional investors or high net worth investors are considered to be qualified investors. They qualify to invest in hedge funds because they are the ones who can come in multitudes or in multiples of, say, for example, maybe 3 million Kenya shillings, like that. That is also a very major, a major difference between hedge funds and mutual funds. We can say that hedge funds, in terms of reporting requirements, did I mention that? We're saying they are less regulated as compared to mutual funds, and as such, they are not subject to disclosure requirements or reporting of net asset values, and that is also one. So that's what I've already covered over there. I also need to mention that hedge funds are less liquid. Hedge funds are less liquid than mutual funds. And have lock-up periods. Of between 1 to 3 years. Like that. When I mean lock-up periods, I mean that the moment you form that fund like this, or you invest in the hedge fund like that, or this pool of funds like that, you're not allowed to withdraw funds from this pool until a period of up to at least 3 years is actually lapsed there. You will not be allowed to withdraw those funds, so that it gives the hedge fund manager some time to come up with an investment policy statement that can realize a substantial form of return for the hedge fund right there. That is what we're saying is the lockup period. Now, having looked at some of the differences between hedge funds and mutual funds, we need to move ahead and look at the hedge fund strategies there. Now, hedge fund strategies fall into 4 categories. So we have hedge fund strategies. They fall into 4 categories. I will be able to break them down or subdivide them. So the first strategy that we will be looking at includes event-driven. So event-driven. Event-driven. When I mean event-driven, it is a strategy that is driven by whatever is going to be happening or expected to happen in the future. For example, if this company right here intends to merge with this company right here, so this is X and this is Y there. X deals with tires, Y also deals with tires. If there is going to be a looming or if there is going to be a looming merger in future, say the next 2 years or 1 year like that, what happens is that the hedge fund manager should buy the shares of company Y. Why? Because company Y is going to benefit significantly. Yes, company X and Y are going to both benefit from the perceived synergies or the cost reduction in costs of production. But Y will benefit because in terms of the number of shares it has offered to its investors, probably maybe it's at 13 shillings, for example. When it merges with X like that, the 13 shillings is expected to increase probably to around maybe 30 or 40 shillings like that. That is what you're saying is event-driven strategies. That is an example of one of the event-driven strategies that exists there. So we are saying that event-driven is based on corporate restructuring. We can say that event-driven is based on corporate restructuring. Corporate restructuring like that, and what? Or acquisitions. We first start off by looking at the first strategy that exists under event-driven. And the first one is merger arbitrage, or A. I can put A there, merger arbitrage. It occurs when a target company is taken over by a predator company and the target company shares